Well, hello there. This is Marty Martin speaking. This is the Geek Nick podcast, and I am the Geek Nick. Now, let's just hop on to it, okay? Now, I'm going to be talking about Michael Jackson a lot on this channel, okay? There are three things that this channel is going to be dedicated to, alright? Cinema, the art of cinema, and I also include video games because video games are becoming the new form of cinema. Well, they are now. They have been for a long time. And Star Wars, I'm always going to be talking about Star Wars. Star Wars along with Lord of the Rings and Star Trek. I'm going to put all those in that category. So mainly sci-fi fantasy and Michael Jackson. Now, today I'm going to talk about Michael Jackson. In my other videos, I will talk about movies and video games and science fiction material. But I just want to use this platform here to tell the truth. I want to be truthful and real with you guys, okay? I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to, be crapping around and everything, try to feed propaganda or anything. No, I want to speak truth. So when you hear me talk about Michael Jackson, first of all, I'm a big fan of Michael Jackson. I'm a hardcore Michael Jackson fan. I've been a fan of Michael Jackson since I was a little boy. Since I was I think probably since I was 3 or 4 years old, ever since I watched Moonwalker on VHS as a kid. I still have it. This was back in the 90s. Well, it's from 1989, but I first saw it in 1999. And from then on till now, it's one of my favorite. I don't want to count it as an actual movie per se, but it's definitely in the top 3 things that I saw as a kid that really inspired me to become the artist that I am today. I mean, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Star Wars 1 and 2, so A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. I consider the original trilogy as just one film, but Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, which include Smooth Criminal in it, and I was just in awe. That's when I fell in love with movie. I'm not gonna be a one-sided person. The only side that I'm actually gonna be on is truth. That's the only side I lean towards to. I'm not biased because I'm a Michael Jackson supporter, and I'm not going to slam the man just because he's Michael Jackson and he acted like this, and I'm not going to defend him because he's Michael Jackson and he did all these great things. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to be looking at this from an objective point of view, okay? No subjectivity, alright? None of that, alright? I'm going to be like the investigative journalist here on this channel. I am going to be the most reliable source, one of the most reliable sources on YouTube compared to the media. So I'm going to be more reliable than New York Times people. I'm going to be more reliable than Huffington Post, Los Angeles Times, because I go beyond that, guys. I go through everything. New York Times, they rely on their own source. On the other hand, I go through everything and I do the math and look at the ratios and see what adds up and what doesn't, and what happens when the media fails on the people. Then we're going to look at some actual facts that the media does not report, that the media tries to hide or they don't want to show you. So I'm going to be more detailed, dedicated than Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, you name it. Alright? Because news is dead, people. News is dead. So, what happened to the Walter Cronkites, the Edward R. Murrows, Tom Brokaw? These guys, they're dead. I think Tom is still alive, but you know what I mean. This type of journalism does not exist anymore. It's all yellow journalism. It's all tabloids, gossip, rumors, propaganda. It's all of those things, okay? Where's the truth? Well, enough is enough. Just like what it says in the song They Don't Care About Us by Michael Jackson. Enough is enough of this garbage, okay? I've had enough, okay? So if nobody's going to do it, might as well be me, okay? That's my philosophy. I start critiquing things about things that are not being done. Instead of me waiting around for somebody to do it, well, might as well be me, okay? Somebody's got to do it, Nobody has the balls to stand up and, say something or actually dedicate their time and energy to actually, because nobody wants to do research. People are so lazy. They're just so lazy today. So on my channel, I'm going to encourage all of you people to not be lazy. I want you to be just as devoted, dedicated, and interested in finding truth, because no one on the media wants you to do that. There's no news, it's all opinion news, okay? CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, those aren't news. It's all opinion news. Alright? The moment you start having people come in on your show, on your panel, and they express their own opinions on things, it's no longer news. Because on news, you're only supposed to hear one thing. You're not supposed to hear ideologies. You're supposed to hear facts. Like when I watch the news, let's say I want to watch the Weather Channel. I just want to know, is it going to be sunny, cloudy, or is there going to be a storm on Thursday? You know, because I got somewhere to go. Alright? I don't want Dallas Rains to come on and say, like, you know, oh, we're going to be expecting high winds and cool breeze and everything. By the way, you should get out and vote and everything. Man, I don't need you to tell me that. Alright? I don't need you. Don't tell me what to do. Alright? Just stick to what you're doing, Dallas. Alright? Just keep doing your thing, alright? Or I'll be watching KTLA, you know. They're going to be talking about, like, or I'll watch ABC7. I want to see what Rob Fukuzaki has to say about the Dodgers. I don't want to hear Rob talk about, oh, what political party he associates himself with. No, I don't care about Rob. I don't care about you, Fukuzaki, Makazaki, Hakazaki, or whatever. Right? Okay, I think I'm getting a little racist here. Okay, forgive me. Okay, there's gonna be some weird dark humor, guys. Okay, I don't care about that. So when I would see on Fox News, you know, I see Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, he's kind of an okay dude, but like everybody else, they're all biased. They all have agendas. They don't care about truth, alright? I mean, if you look at one source your whole time, you're always going to see things from that perspective. If all you watch is Fox News, you're only going to be fed by what they're telling you, and you're going to believe in it. If you only watch CNN, you're only going to believe in what they say. Open your mind, people. Go through other sources. Go through them, all right? That's what I suggest that all of you should do, all right? And my channel is going to be about all of that. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to be a news channel, okay? Alright? It's not going to be like that. Alright? I'm not going to come in with a political agenda at all, okay? Like, I'm just going to tell you guys, I'm just going to be straight with you, alright? So with this Michael Jackson situation, okay? I don't believe the man is guilty. You know what's going to convince me when I believe he's guilty? Show me evidence. Evidence! Okay? Even if we're bringing a video, alright? Alright, bring it to court. Bring a video to the courtroom. Have me as a juror or something, alright? Well, just give us something. Alright? Give us evidence. Give us an audio recording or something, you know? Just something, alright? Rumors, gossip, allegations, accusations, they mean nothing at all. Accusation does not equate guilt. Allegations do not equate guilt. Alright? People need to understand that. People are just too dumb and stupid. Especially my generation. Oh my gosh. Like, this is crazy. Millennials, Gen Z, crazy. Okay? So millennials are not going to listen to elders. Okay? I mean, that's a fact right there. Gen Z, they're not going to do that either. Alright? Rachel Maddow, Don Lemon, Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham. These people are dinosaurs. They don't understand current contemporary stuff. They don't understand anything about it. They all sound dumb. They sound so dumb. They're saying things from their own, they're stuck in their own time in their head. Okay? We need someone in the here and now. A young guy. We need young people. Why do you think Ben Shapiro has a lot of followers and everything? Because this is a young dude. This is a millennial. Alright? Millennials would much rather listen to other millennials than listen to baby boomers. Alright? Or Gen Xers. Right? We need people that are of us. Alright? One of us. Okay? Because we're a generation that we listen to peers more than to those that are older than us, or those that have more experience. We turn to our peers now. So we turn to bandwagons. That's the problem. All right? People don't want to be alone. Okay? I, on the other hand, I'm alone a lot because I don't hop on bandwagons because everybody else is doing it. No, I go on my own way when I know something is true. Okay? Like with R. Kelly. I know this guy is a pedophile. Like, forget about this tape. These women that are accusing him, because again, there's no physical evidence of that, but I do believe in them because they really connect. But he's a pedophile because he was with Aaliyah, who was 14 years old back in the 90s, and he was in his 30s. And there's evidence of that. Documents. It was an illegal marriage. An illegal marriage. And you know darn well, if you listen to R. Kelly's music, if you watch his interviews, if you're a fan of R. Kelly, you know there was no celibacy going on. You know some kinky, nasty, funky stank was going on. I mean, if you're listening, like his songs, they're already out there enough. Imagine his personal life. Personal life, nothing but filth and stank. Just funky, dirty, nasty. That involve 14-year-old girls all the way up to 17-year-olds. Alright? I mean, that's just weird, okay? So that, I just go by that, okay? That's all I need, the Aaliyah situation, okay? I'm there, okay? O.J. Simpson. The guy did it. Why would you write a book explaining, like, oh, if you were going to kill your wife, this is how you would do it? What kind of a person does that? That's so dumb. Okay? Bill Cosby, he admitted to one of the things that he did. I mean, he admitted using Quaaludes. He admitted it. Okay? And then Kobe Bryant confessed. You know, not every black man is innocent. Not every black artist or athlete is a saint, okay? But I'm gonna be real with y'all right here, okay? I think Tupac was innocent. I think he was innocent. I don't think he did with what happened, the rape accusation that happened. I believe Sam Cooke was innocent. I totally believe that he was not attacking that woman. I believe he was the victim himself, that he was being robbed. I highly recommend you guys watch the Sam Cooke documentary on Netflix that covers his death, and it was all a setup, man. So I totally believe Sam Cooke was innocent, Tupac was innocent, and most definitely, absolutely, positively, 500% sure, confidently, immensely have faith. No, I know that Michael Jackson was innocent, and is still innocent. I mean, may he rest in peace. The man is not here to defend himself, all right? But he was innocent. I totally believe in that, okay? Now, was the man weird? The man was definitely weird and odd. There's no denying that, okay? So, his documentary came out, Leaving Neverland. Man, this is a comedy. Do not be fooled by the emotions that these accusers are saying. See, people have a hard time spotting liars. Okay? I've been around people that, well, first of all, I've helped authorities catch pedophiles when I was in college. These people don't know who I am, so I can just say it. I ratted some people out. Alright? Well, I didn't rat them out. I just kind of was, you know, I just told the campus police, told them what was going on. So and so said this, and she said this, and this person confessed about her too, and everything. I had my phone, I had it all recorded and everything. So I gave it to the cops, and then the people, I don't know what happened to them. I think they're behind bars and house arrest, or getting butt raped in the jail cell. I really don't know, but they did get in trouble. All right, and so I knew people like that. Okay. And let me tell you something. Some of these pedophiles, they're the worst liars. Okay, some of them are the worst ones. Okay, and they are so overly dramatic. All right, and then I've knew some people that said like, oh, so and so did this to me at school. And let me tell you, she was crying. She was like, her mascara was coming down and everything. Everybody was believing in her. But this woman, I almost said another nasty word, but Lord Jesus, please let me be more clean. She was just a liar. She was just a liar, and I told the campus police officer, like, this is what happened, this didn't happen, and how do I know? Because I had evidence. So I told the officer that, you know, oh, even though she's saying this didn't happen, okay? So then people were calling me like, oh, I'm against victims, you know, and everything. Not at all. No. Just because there's a person claiming to be a victim doesn't mean they are a victim. That person could be the perpetrator themselves. That person could be the predator. Alright? The accused person may be the victim, not the accuser. So, bottom line, what I'm saying is that I've seen overly dramatic people that try to paint the picture that they are innocent, but they're really not. Especially how they tell their stories, like with James Safechuck and Wade Robson. These guys, they're so detailed. Like, usually people that are so detailed when it comes to a lot of these stories, they're sketchy, man. Like when you watch the R. Kelly documentary, okay? So first of all, you have the victims, you have witnesses, you have a basketball coach, a psychologist, authors, music artists, TV personalities, and I believe a security guard or a police officer or something. You have like 10 different types of people being interviewed in 10 different categories. We had all those people. Michael Jackson documentary, we just have two guys. Just two guys, including their parents, which they don't even count because the parents, they're not victims. They're not even witnesses because they said that they didn't witness these acts happening. These guys are claiming that they were victims of these things that allegedly that Michael Jackson did to them, which I think is bull. Don't buy into those crocodile tears, people. Do not buy into that, okay? Because they try to get you in your head. Emotions, tears, and anger do not equate truth. Emotions are very deceptive. There's nothing more deceptive than emotions. Because your emotions can get a hold of you, and, you know, just because you feel this way doesn't mean it's right. Like, you could be mad at someone for something that they didn't do wrong, and you have no reason to be angry at that person, but you feel angry. Or you could feel sad about something that you shouldn't be sad about. There are certain emotions that don't fit things the right way. Like, how do I explain it? Like, for example, let's say I'm a schizophrenic person. I see something in the corner. Let's say I see Ozzy Osbourne, the corner of my room, and I feel terrified. I feel scared because Ozzy Osbourne is there eating a carrot with wearing polka dot drawers with googly eyes. Like, that's just weird. That's freaking me out. But he's not there. It's just an illusion. Alright? It's a hallucination. I'm afraid of something. I'm scared of something that's not even there. It's not there. It doesn't exist. So that right there is a false perception of something. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense to you guys? I may not be. I'm probably going to edit some of this stuff out, but hopefully you'll get what I am saying here, okay? Bottom line is that they try to mess with your emotions in this documentary. And don't let that happen, okay? Do not watch this with an open mind, okay? Do the research prior to watching this documentary, because they don't want you to do research after you watch this documentary. They want you to make up fully your mind. They want you to be convinced that Michael Jackson was a pedophile, okay? Because again, they don't have any people defending Michael. They don't have anybody trying to challenge these people's claims, okay? They don't have Tom Mesro, Michael Jackson's lawyer, his defense attorney. They don't have investigative journalist Aphrodite Jones. They don't have Michael Jackson's nephews. They don't have Macaulay Culkin, Brett Barnes, Alfonso Ribeiro, Ray J. They don't have any of those people. Okay, they don't have Aaron Carter, no Emmanuel Lewis. Okay, these are all or other people that went to Neverland Ranch and that were friends with Michael Jackson and said that Michael never did anything to them. Why didn't we have those people? Surviving R. Kelly had all of those professional people and those experts. Surviving Neverland didn't have that. Okay, so that's a big problem that I have right there. Okay, so here are some of the arguments that I want to address that many of these people have been asking and bringing up since 1993 and are actually resurfacing again right now. So people are going to be asking these questions all over again, okay? These are the questions that people are actually asking themselves after watching this documentary, all right? So like let's go prior to that. Some people will say, hey, look, like, because you'll have people say like, oh, it's true that Michael Jackson was a pedophile. Look up facts. Do your own research. What? I mean, obviously, whenever somebody says that there are facts that Michael Jackson is a pedophile, they didn't do research themselves, because facts show and state that he wasn't. That he wasn't a pedophile. There is more evidence of Michael not being a pedophile than there is him being a pedophile. Okay? And the sources that they will give you links to are unreliable sources. Like Huffington Post, gossip magazines, Tumblr pages, WordPress pages, okay? People giving their opinions and everything. Or they'll repeat old information that was already debunked. They'll just be repeating the same information that has already been debunked. They won't show you that. And they don't want to look up that. Okay? They don't want to look those things up. So one thing that happened was back in 1993, 92 or 93, Michael Jackson's older sister, LaToya Jackson, came out and said that Michael Jackson did molest young little boys, and she said that Katherine Jackson would pay victims to keep their mouths shut. She would just pay them money, and she said she had evidence of all that. She said she had all the checks, yet we never saw them. They were never presented. All right. So she said that she would not support her brother Michael. She would never defend him. And she said, what kind of a grown man in his 30s wants to be around boys and have slumber parties and everything? So then people said, hey, LaToya, I mean, she's the smart Jackson. She's the one that's speaking the truth. I believe her. And again, they'll say they believe her because of her emotions. They believe her. Why? Because she feels like all like sad, disgusted, angry. I mean, is that really why they're gonna feel that way? Are you kidding me? I mean, she lied and admitted it that she was lying. Alright? Do your own research, okay? Some of you have a hard time, again, some of you have a hard time spotting a liar, but I don't, okay? They're just straight up lies, and unfortunately, she was forced by her disgusting scumbag ex-husband of hers named Jack Gordon, and he made her do it. Alright? And here's the proof right here, okay? I'm going to be dropping links below because I'm having some problems with the video here, but I'm going to put the link down below, okay? So, MJ is innocent, okay? Whether you like it or not, okay? There's a bunch of haters. Ridiculous, okay? So I'll give you some facts, and you're welcome, okay? Here are the links below. You check them out yourself, okay? So, one argument. People say, if Michael was innocent, why did he settle, okay? That's argument number one. Okay. Bruh. I really hate this argument. I really do, okay? So, Michael still had his contract with Pepsi Cola at the time. And he was still promoting his album Dangerous. And he had 8 concerts canceled in the Dangerous World Tour, and it ended up forcing him to end the tour early. Alright? That caused him to lose way more than $20 million. And the reason why I mentioned the $20 million is because that's the estimated price that Michael settled to the Chandler family, who Jordan Chandler was the accuser, according to Evan Chandler, his father. Alright? So, his contract with Pepsi was on the line and on the verge of being terminated. And going on trial meant that his albums would most likely lower in sales. Okay? It would also cause him a large amount of time before getting back to making a new album, and he planned on doing movie projects that he wanted to pursue. So it would have also been a huge circus, and Michael would go through an immense amount of hate by the media. The man was dealing with insomnia, jet lag, anxiety, dehydration, back pain, and pain in his knees, and then he had to worry about a trial? Hell no, screw that! This also wasn't Jackson's initial idea, which could have had him lose hundreds of millions of dollars with those business deals and contracts. Plus, continuing to pay lawyers in the trial? Come on now. Okay? They advised him to do a settlement so they could get it over with and move on. So the settlement cost Michael $20 million, which is nothing compared to his wealth. So yes, those are understandable reasons why Jackson did a settlement. He didn't have something to hide. Alright, many people equate settlements to cover-ups. Michael only did one settlement. Okay? How many people have done settlements, and how many people have done more than 2 settlements? Alright? Or more than one. Okay? Bill O'Reilly had 6 settlements. Okay? Britney Spears made a settlement. Oprah made a settlement against to an accuser that accused Oprah's father of sexually assaulting her. Right? So, does it mean they have something to hide? Do they have something to hide? Maybe, maybe not. I don't think so. Okay? Britney Spears, I don't think so. Okay? But, again, I can name other people that have done settlements, and I believe they haven't done it. Okay? Settlements do not mean cover-ups. Okay? Sometimes they're highly pressured to do settlements by legal advisors. So that's not their first reaction, their first decision. Alright? It's, let's say you have 3 lawyers, and your 3 lawyers are telling you constantly, do the settlement right here, okay? Get this out of the way. Just do the settlement, do the settlement, do the settlement, do the settlement. Alright! I'll do the settlement. Alright? Just shut up. So, that's how settlements work, okay? Now, with Bill O'Reilly's situation, it is quite alarming because based on the amount of settlements, I mean, he's had 6 settlements. 6 settlements! Damn! Wow! 6 settlements? I'm not saying he assaulted and harassed women, but when there is smoke, there is a fire. But again, I am a big believer in this, okay? Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. So I'm not saying Bill O'Reilly is guilty. I will never say that. I just think that there is something fishy going on, and it should still be investigated, because that's a lot right there, okay? But again, everyone's innocent until proven guilty. I believe in justice, and justice means a fair trial. Completely believe in that. So, the other argument too. Why would a 40-year-old man, 30 or 40-year-old man, wants to be with children? Again, I hate this argument because a man liking children in a non-sexual way, like Michael's case, did not make him a pedophile. All right. Now, here is a valid argument here. This is a valid one, but I kind of hate it when fans and most defenders of MJ say this. They'll say he didn't have a childhood. He was abused as a kid. Yes, that is true. But that doesn't entirely explain why he behaved the way that got everybody scratching their heads and raising their eyebrows, okay? It is 100% sure that Michael Jackson had a mental disorder. Has there been an official diagnosis? We don't know, okay? That information has never been given to us. That is private information that is well deserved to be kept private, but just watch his interviews, okay? You just watch his interviews, okay? Or even just see footage of him, okay? That behavior is not common and it's very odd. More than anything, it's an unhealthy behavior based on the inability to understand social norms and boundaries. And that is what some psychologists call Peter Pan syndrome. I'll leave a link below. You can actually look this up. Peter Pan syndrome is an actual thing, however, is not officially seen as a mental disorder, but the behavior is an actual thing. Michael Jackson is not the only one that acted that way. All right, Michael Jackson was still mentally a child. He was still mentally a child. Michael lived in his own world. His thought process was extremely different than the average person. He knew and understood his intentions, but everyone else did not. To him, he was being charitable, kind, caring, and loving. To everyone else, they thought he was grooming children. Sharing a bed with a child only meant falling asleep with kids by his sides. Okay? That's how Michael saw it. To us, that's borderline child molestation. How can we understand his thought process? Well, because how he explains himself in interviews, his autobiography, the lyrics in his songs, and what he's done and how he's behaved, okay? So the argument is not just that he was abused growing up, but it's about him being isolated from society. Michael never played sports with other kids, never went on field trips with students his age, couldn't go to the grocery store, period, couldn't go to the movies, couldn't take a walk at the park, go to the carnival. He couldn't do any of those things without worrying about crazy fans, stalkers and everything, paparazzi. There was no privacy was not a part of his lifestyle. Privacy was not a part of his life, okay? And it wasn't his fault. He was exposed and raised in that lifestyle. When you're exposed to a less private environment, that requires you to be in the spotlight. The less freedom you will have, okay? Just take a moment and picture yourself being in that world and that lifestyle, starting out as a child. Let's start this out at 5, okay? For 45 years, okay? Picture your life at age 5 for 45 years of your life, okay? Living like that, okay? All the friends you have today, your girlfriend or your boyfriend, your wife or your husband, or the children that you have, and the pets that you adopted and you love, okay? The job you love, the career that you are currently doing, all right? They would not have existed in your life, and you would never have met them and never have done those things. Because in the normal world would not be normal to you. That life is your normal world, okay? Right now you live on Earth, but when you live in the life of a iconic superstar, Earth is no longer Earth. It is Mars, okay? A place that is foreign to you, and a place that you will never, ever understand till the day you die, okay? Now think about that. Think about it. So I hate people comparing Michael Jackson to the average Joe, to everyone like us, because he wasn't us. Michael was like an extraterrestrial, okay? He was like E.T. He didn't understand anything about this, okay? So cut him some slack. Okay, give him a break. People should have done that. And it's just so ridiculous. Because I guarantee you, if we lived that life, man, I'm surprised that he made it all the way till age 50, alright? I'm surprised he didn't kill himself or died of a drug overdose early. You know, anything could have happened to him. I'm surprised that he made it all the way to age 50. I mean, I thought he should have been in the 27 Club or something. Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin, Amy Winehouse, Kurt Cobain, alright? I mean, it is shocking that he made it that far. Just consider that. Put yourself in his shoes. Another argument. Why did he like kids and young boys? Children were the only people that treated him normal. That's why. Okay? Adults had their own agendas and either wanted him for his fame, talent, and of course, his wealth. People saw him as Michael Jackson, the king of pop. Okay? But Michael Jackson was a person. Normal people didn't care about the man. They cared about the king of pop. Okay? But the kids liked Michael because he was Michael. Now, just because he liked being around boys and playing with boys did not mean he was a homosexual and a pedophile. Okay? Men get along well with other men, people of their own sex. Boys like to be around boys because they are of the same sex. Okay? People of the same sex have a relationship and understanding and relation to each other that they don't have with those of the opposite sex. Okay? Michael Jackson wanted to be around boys because he saw them as his peers, his friends. Michael saw himself as a boy as much as he was an adult. He was more comfortable with boys of the same sex. Just like how boys like to play sports together, go camping, play video games, play hide and go seek, tag, have water balloon fights, play with super soakers, and eat lots and lots of candy. Michael loved those activities. And the majority of those that participate in such activities are boys. Boys are more physical and active than young girls when it comes to playing, and that is true. That is true, okay? And now leave a link below that actually proves that, okay? Boys like to get dirty. Boys like to, do things that boys usually do, and Michael was into that. Michael liked that. So, I mean, when I was a little kid, I always wanted to hang around with boys, okay? I didn't feel too comfortable being around girls because I felt so insecure and I didn't get girls. I didn't understand them, okay? I like hanging around with boys because I was a boy, We did boy stuff. They were my homies. They were my dudes, right? There was no homo and everything. We were buds and everything. We would get each other like the Sandlot. What? Yeah, guys, ever seen that movie, The Sandlot, or Stand By Me, or The Goonies? They're all boys. Okay, that was Michael Jackson's case, okay? His friends, the kids that he was playing with, he saw them as like the kids from The Goonies, Stand By Me, The Sandlot, okay? It was just an innocent thing. Why was it innocent? Because he saw himself as one of them. So then, since I mentioned the boys part, there's also this argument. Why was he rarely around women? People bring up that argument. Who was he banging? Michael was around women, okay? He dated Tatum O'Neal in the 70s. He was with Brooke Shields for a while, and he said he always loved her, right? There were rumors that Michael and Liza Minnelli had a fling since they were both very close friends. And Michael went on a couple dates with Madonna, right? He was in love with Hollywood icon and his best friend Elizabeth Taylor. He even proposed to her. He said he wanted to marry her. Okay? And of course, he was with Lisa Marie Presley and eventually married her. Okay? They were together before they got married. And he had a short marriage with Debbie Rowe, the mother of his first 2 children. Okay? Former pop star. Well, he's off the radar now, but Aaron Carter and Michael's bodyguards have also stated that they have seen Michael be with women quite often. Michael was not known as a person who was always getting with women all the time in his life, okay? He was known as a gentleman and was shy to when it came to women, okay? And a lot of people didn't think he was gay. A lot of people thought he was asexual because that wasn't really his thing. But when you look at some of his music videos, some of them are pretty racy. Some of them, like The Way You Make Me Feel, In the Closet, golly, boy, In the Closet, that's some, wow. Okay, Mike, I see you, Michael. We see you. All right, okay. And then You Rock My World, okay. Lisa Marie Presley is topless, and what in the world? She's naked? Okay. Wow, okay, alright. Then he puts his hand on this Latina's girl's butt in You Rock My World. Alright then, I see it. Alright. Michael Jackson, come on, we all know that. Sly dog, right? We saw you, Mike. We see you. Those are some of the arguments that will commonly be brought up. The next video, I'll bring up arguments about the maids and Dr. Conrad Murray. Okay, first of all, the maids and Conrad Murray, like the least credible and most unreliable sources when it comes to them talking about Michael Jackson. All right, so I just want to say, and this is something that people have been saying right here. I saw this comment, and people have been sharing it around a lot, and a person shared it to me, and he said, hey, you should say this regarding the Michael Jackson situation. So I said, most definitely. So then, this is what it says right here. Since Sundance and HBO and many other media appear to be more interested in salacious fabrications than actual journalism, let me do it for them. This all started in 1993. There was an attempt by Evan Chandler to procure funds for Michael Jackson to pursue his screenwriting dreams. When Michael does not comply, Evan seeks out a private attorney and publicly makes the accusation that Michael molested his son. He is on tape stating such thing as, if I go through with this, I win big time. I will get everything I want. It will be a massacre if I don't get what I want. His son Jordan, who lives with his mother, repeatedly denies being molested. However, when he goes on visitation to stay with his father, he changes his story and admits he was molested. The police open an investigation. They search Michael's home as well as his entire body. The boy's description does not match. Okay? The boy says Michael is circumcised. We know from his autopsy that he was not. Okay? So the boy got the blotches and the marks of his genitals right, but he got the main thing wrong, saying that he was circumcised when he wasn't. Okay? That's a biggie right there. Alright? It's like saying, talking about a woman's breast. Oh yeah, she has freckles, on the top part of her breast and everything. She has stretch marks on the bottom and everything, and she had erect nipples and everything, when come to find out she didn't have any nipples. She had inward nipples, okay? That's a biggie right there. So yeah, you named everything right, but the biggest part you got wrong. The most noticeable part, I'm like, get out of here. Someone had to have told you that and left that information out. Or something, okay? Or someone got it from Michael's medical records or whatever, okay? How can you get everything else right but the main thing wrong? That just doesn't make any sense. So, the police convened 2 separate grand juries to press charges, but both refused due to lack of evidence. Meanwhile, the civil case is proceeding, and Michael is required to give a deposition. But the district attorney refuses to close the criminal case. Michael's lawyers press the court to delay the civil deposition until the criminal case is closed and the other side presses for it to continue. That's right. The accusers want the civil trial, and Michael, the criminal investigation. Let that sink in. The judge, unfortunately, agrees with the accusers, and so Michael must either give a deposition in the civil case and allow the district attorney to try build a case around his deposition, or he must settle. This takes his right to a fair criminal trial, should one ever occur. For example, if he gives an alibi, they can change the dates when they press charges. This happened in 2003. They changed the dates on the charge sheet once they found out on TV that Michael had an airlight alibi. Even the state of California eventually agreed and changed their laws so this cannot happen to anyone again. A defendant should have the right to present their defense for the first time in a criminal courtroom. Michael had numerous lawsuits that he was dealing with constantly, and the overwhelming majority were settled for practical reasons. This was nothing new, okay? Not long after all of this, Jordan Chandler filed for emancipation from his parents, and I have to say, I can't blame him. Alright? And, oh, by the way, the civil settlement did not stop anyone from continuing the criminal investigation, but I suppose since Evan got his money and Jordan wanted emancipation from his parents, no one cared about the criminal pursuit anymore. So, move forward to 2003, Michael appears in a highly slanted documentary made by Bashir, where he, at Bashir's urging, invites a prior cancer victim that he helped up to Neverland for the interview. In the interview, the boy says he and his brother slept in Michael's bed, and Michael and another adult friend of Michael's on the floor. The media started speculating non-stop on TV that Michael was molesting this child. Both the police and child services begin an investigation. The media is hounding the boy's family, so Michael invites them to stay at a guest house in Neverland for a couple weeks until the media frenzy dies down. The district attorney, same one as from 1993, Tom Snetton, is out for blood. But he has a problem. For anyone who watches the full, unedited version of this interview and the way they were praising Michael, and I'll put the link below, alright, it would be very hard to believe this boy was molested. So the story they got to court with, the story they go to court with is that the molestation occurred after, when the family went back to Neverland. That's right, Michael has known this child for 3 years, never molested him. But the police want you to believe that at the height of the world speculating every day on TV that he is molesting this child, in the middle of a police and child services investigation, he suddenly has a realization that he wants to start molesting this child. And then there is the credibility of the witnesses who previously sued JCPenney for sexual harassment, who committed welfare fraud, who pursued numerous celebrities for funds, including George Lopez, Chris Tucker, and Jay Leno, who held fundraisers to pay for medical expenses when they already had insurance. And on the witness stand, they repeatedly contradicted themselves and each other. It was clear from the testimony that only once they were cut out of Michael Jackson's life, and only once they lost a free ride they were hoping to maintain indefinitely did they concoct the molestation allegations. And mind you, instead of going to the police, they went to the same exact civil attorney that got the 1993 settlement. But as I mentioned, laws were changed now, and the attorney told them they had to pursue the criminal route prior to the civil route. The list of absurdities that was in this case just goes on and on and on. The only reason it got past a grand jury is because the public had at this point been brainwashed for 10 years by the media into believing that Michael Jackson is a child molester. Otherwise, the grand jury would have given those allegations the same fate two separate grand juries gave the 1993 allegations. Move forward to a few years of Michael's passing, may he rest in peace. Wade Robson is involved in various tribute shows to MJ, continues to praise him in the press, and Wade Robson is involved in various tribute shows to MJ, continues to praise him in the press, and before he passed, continued to occasionally spend time with Michael. During the 2005 trial, he, among others, testified that Michael never touched them. They were witnesses called by the defense. What abuser would take the risk of calling a witness to the stand that he had previously abused, a witness that was in no way integral to the defense? It defies all logic. A few years after Michael's death, Wade petitions the estate to allow him to be the lead choreographer of the Michael Jackson Cirque du Soleil show, which was called Michael Jackson 1. That's right. He wants to work every day and night for years, traveling around the world choreographing a tribute to Michael. He even tells the press he got the job. But the estate decided to give the job to someone else. Once a choreographer for acts like Britney Spears, who he had an affair with while she was with Justin Timberlake, his career appears to be on the skids. So what does he do? He sues Michael Jackson's estate for child molestation. Notice the same pattern with prior accusers. They want in, and only once they are cut out when they make molestation accusations. The amount of inconsistent statements and contradictions in the lawsuit are overwhelming, including such blatant lies as Wade claiming he did not know about the existence of the MJ estate until immediately prior to filing his lawsuit, even though he is on camera and in emails discussing and asking the MJ estate for the lead job on Michael Jackson's Cirque du Soleil shows. His lawsuit is thrown out of court, so what does he do then? Approaches HBO and Sundance to give him airtime to share his story. In regards to Safechuck, he jumped in on Wade's lawsuit once he heard about it for what I'm sure he hoped would be an easy payday. If you read Safechuck's allegations, he appears to have copied them from a book from the 1990s entitled Michael Jackson Was My Lover, written by Victor Gutierrez, who thanks NAMBLA in his book and who was successfully sued by Michael Jackson for defamation for close to $3 million. Gutierrez fled the country and did not pay. Sadly, there are no defamation laws to protect the deceased, which is why Safechuck and HBO can now air this nonsense. The biggest issue the public seems to have with all of these Michael Jackson allegations is that he spent time with kids and even shared his bed with kids. But the public needs to know, one, understand that this is not a crime and not what he was accused of, and two, take into consideration of his background. Michael grew up with many brothers and sisters, often sharing his bed, both at home and on the road, with his older brothers, who to him, at that time, would have been adults. Most of his time as a child was spent around adults. Most of his friends as a child were adults. When he was finally able to get out on his own and have some freedom, he wanted to spend time experiencing the things he never really had an opportunity to do: amusement parks, video games, sleepovers, etc. To me, it was more of a case of a stunted development, but this phase eventually stopped. You could even see in the 2003 Bashir documentary that even though the kids stayed over, they did not share a bed and there was another adult present. And the kids were the ones that begged to stay over. I'm certain that none of this will be... Actually, guys, this was rarely covered in the documentary. Instead, we got salacious claims from discredited individuals. And they and HBO will make their profits at the expense of a man who's no longer here to defend himself. Shame on all of them. To hell with all of them. So for more detailed information, go to the michaeljacksonallegations.com. Okay? It's not my site, but it's incredibly well done. Okay? I just think this is something that everybody needs to know, and this is something that everybody needs to do. Do your own investigative journalism. Do your own. Because you can't trust anybody anymore. Don't trust the New York Times. Don't trust these tabloids, these gossips. Screw Channel 4 News, okay? The Australian, British, UK media, cannot be trusted. Not even the American media. Do your own investigations. That's all we can do at this point. Just please do it, okay? This is very disgusting. It's not just because of this whole Michael thing, but it just shows how bad we've gotten as people. You know, guys, we're the we're justice. We're the justice system. We are the court. We are the court. We're the ones that's corrupting the system. We created the system. We treat the system as this some foreign thing when we need to step back and actually realize that the system is us. We have more power than the government does. The government wants to make you think that they're more powerful. But we have the power. We have the power. And the more you buy into everything that you're being fed, the weaker you become and the more lost you will be. Stop jumping on bandwagons, okay? And to all the people that think that this is some cult, that we are brainwashed, to all of the people that think we MJ fans, us Moonwalkers, are brainwashed, need to realize, no, we are not brainwashed at all. The difference between us and you is that we know bullshit when we hear it. Obviously, you don't know how to do that. Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth. Some people just wish the lies are true and were true. So, I'm signing off. Hopefully, you'll think about this. And if you haven't seen the documentary, it's really boring, guys. It's really boring. They really beat around the bush around this documentary. It's just so unnecessarily wrong. Like, literally, it should be 2 hours rather than 4 hours. Maybe an hour and 40 minutes. Because a lot of it is just, boring. I was more bored than anything. It was a boring comedy. That's what it was. And those fools are liars, man. Liars. That's all I gotta say. I will be talking more about this, because I'm all about justice. And so I wish you all the best. I will speak with you again. And live long and prosper. And may the force be with you.